All right. Hi, everybody. Sorry that took a little bit. Oh man, how is everyone? Wow, it's been a while. It's been a while. Hopefully everyone is doing well. My place is a mess right now. I have a wedding decoration still in my office that hopefully I'm going to be getting rid of soon. Um, so it's been and I'm covered in cat hair, so I'm a hot mess. I just want to say thank you to everyone for your patience. I know that scheduling this live stream has been very touch and go and very unstable, so I apologize for rescheduling. Um, I apologize for rescheduling so many times. So thanks for hanging in there. Hey, Ninjago lover. Hope things are well. I remember you were moving. I hope the move went well. Aw, Ash. Thank you. Um, yeah, so basically, I'm going to be taking this time to do pretty much um, what initially I planned. I'm going to talk about the future of the YouTube channel and also do an Ask Me Anything if we have some time. Planning on being live for about an hour, maybe a little bit less depending on questions and all that good stuff. So, but I wanted to check in and at least, uh, talk to y'all. Hey, Dixie, so nice to see you as well. And hello, Faye. All right. Null Ninjago, this is the time to tell me about it if you don't mind sharing it in the chat, or you can send it to me in a private message, whichever works best for you. Yeah. Just FYI, go in and out. That's why. Internet all wonky. That's not okay. Okay. My internet is being very unstable right now for some reason. Okay. Connection is unstable. Well, that's fun. Of course this happens. Of course this happens. Why would it happen any other time? No, my router's doing okay. Okay. Well, anyway, if I'm cutting in and out or I'm freezing up, I do apologize. As far as I know, my internet's doing okay. I mean, it's good. It's good internet. Um, okay. All right, Ninjago, let's hear about your paranormal experience. And I'm glad to hear that the move went well. So I went to a family friend's gravesite and I went for a walk by myself and I felt multiple presences and I felt that someone was staring at me and watching me. Well, so we humans are built with that fight or flight instinct, so if you do feel like something's watching you, I mean, that's not being crazy or anything like that. Your body is reacting that way for a reason, and not saying that it is paranormal, but I'm just saying, like, your body's doing that for a reason. So there was probably someone watching you. Of course, someone's going down the road very loud with their motorcycle. um, yeah, so that happened for a reason. Who knows what that reason could be? um yeah, so well, it's not a big announcement, so I'm basically just letting you all know that the YouTube channel is coming back in January. Actually, I'm going to put my announcements in the banner. um in January, so yes. See, does that work? Yeah, there we go. So yes, the YouTube channel is coming back in January. I'm going to I'm going to try to go back to weekly content. It may turn into bi-weekly, just depending, mostly because my work, I do travel a lot for work now. So basically I had to set aside some time to record. And if I'm able to record like 2 or 3 videos at a time, that would be ideal, because then that way I can, when I'm on the plane, I can just edit. Um, or if I ever have like lulls, you know, I can edit there too. But yes, so the spooky stuff is coming back to YouTube in January. I know I took a very long break. Um, the break happened for a couple of reasons. One was because I was planning a wedding, which the wedding was fabulous. A lot of really, um, it was a great day. Um, I did release the highlight video on my Facebook page. If y'all want to look at that. Yes, there is a kitty. Zoe is right there. She is hanging out with me on this live stream, looking very sleepy. So, um, yeah, so Zoe is here with me this evening. Sophie is on the couch. Like I said, my office is a disaster right now because of wedding boxes, and I'm trying to sell everything, and it's just not. It's people aren't really buying, which is a bummer. Yeah, so one of the reasons why I took a break was because of the wedding, especially like once I hit September, I was like, oh wow, I am way like behind on my wedding planning. But also I had surgery. I had elective surgery June in June, and I didn't quite heal as fast as I expected to. Um, Essentially, my surgical sites reopened, so I had to like take even more time off. And it was a bummer because I had to basically drop out of a few convention appearances that I was lined up for. And basically just laying around and realizing, oh, I got holes in me that are just open. And all I'm being told to do is put Neosporin on it and hope for the best. So, plus I was wedding planning still, and then I got COVID. I got COVID a couple of times. So 2022 was an interesting year. Getting married, having surgery, healing, not healing, healing again. Um, it's starting a new job, and I moved. I think what they say that planning a wedding is one of the most traumatic experiences a person can go through, as well as moving and starting a new job. I did all three. So I am enjoying having more of a break now. So um, yeah, I am enjoying it a bit more. Oh, Ninjago, your sister got a cat named Salem. She's a black cat and has attitude. Of course. Nice. Aw, I was just in Salem a couple weeks ago. I was just in Salem. I was with the Feminine Macabre group, Amanda Woomer, Spooky Eats group. Hi, Spooky Appalachia. You helped me get through my workday, and you helped me get through the really long drive up to Concord, Massachusetts earlier in November. Have I seen? Sorry, y'all. It's been a long workday. Whew. I have seen Hocus Pocus 2. I have some thoughts on it. Overall, I liked it. To me, I feel like it was missing some of that spooky magic that the first one had. I mean, I didn't hate the second one. I thought it was pretty good, but there was a couple of cringe moments for me in the movie that I was like, ugh. Whereas the first movie I didn't have as many cringe moments, but I mean, I enjoyed the movie though. I think it's a nice little tribute to the first movie, and it was cool to see, Bette Midler, Kathy Najimy, Sarah Jessica Parker reprise their roles. I think that was really cool. I wish they had picked a better song though for instead of doing one way or another. I wish they had picked a different song. I don't know. I don't know what song that would be though, because man, I Put a Spell on You was so like, I don't know. I feel like that was like the perfect song for the first movie, and then the second movie, Hello, I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you made it. Yeah, so I heard a couple of different things with the original cast. Like I guess Thora Birch, who played Danny, she had I think she had prior commitments. And then of course the actor and actress for Allison and Max, they said that I guess Disney did not even ask them to be a part of it. So um yeah, I felt there was a couple things I felt funny about with the first one too, that I feel like there was a lot of moments for like even more ties to the first movie. Um, Dixie just made a really good point. I think it'll take another 20 years for us to appreciate the second movie just like the first one. That's what makes it a cult classic. You know what? I can get on board with that. I can get on board with that. I will say though, me personally, I did love the movie like from the moment I saw it. Like I thought it was just so awesome. Um, yeah, I've loved it for, pretty much my whole life. Well, not my whole life. It didn't come out until I was like 7, 8, something like that. God, I don't even know. Sorry. Ugh. Sorry, y'all. Like I said, long work day. I was basically on a computer all day designing. So, mm. I did like the new girls in the movie. They were a lot of fun. Maybe my biggest issue with the second movie was, the sisters were goofy, but they still were scary in a way because they ate children. But in in the second movie, I guess they were more of a joke this time. I'm not sure. I will say though, the the Roombas, the Roombas was amazing. The Swiffer brooms, like, okay, so there were some really good, like, there were some great moments in the second movie. Um, yeah, I don't know. It was interesting. Oh, you did musical theater, Titanic failure. That sounds like fun. Nice. Yeah, so like I said, y'all, if you haven't heard the news, if you're just now coming in, the Spooky Stuff YouTube channel is coming back in January. So ideally, I would like to do weekly videos. I just don't know how. Um, I just don't know if I'll be able to. So, but right now the goal is 4 videos a month or weekly. It's just gonna have to take some careful planning on my part. Ash. I thought the scene with the automatic doors was funny. I'm sure for those from that time period, the doors would seem like magic. Yes, that was funny. There's a moment in the movie where there's automatic doors, and the witches are like, oh, they're just like very fascinated by it. Roombas, yes. Kathy Najimy's character. Oh my gosh, Mary. Sorry, Mary. You know how Mary had the vacuum cleaner in the first movie? Like that was her flying broom. In the movie, she had Roombas, and she like developed a relationship with the Roombas, not romantic, but like almost like a mother-children type of relationship. So the second movie had some really good moments, but like I said, I feel like the second movie had some cringe moments, like when the witches first come back, which they don't really explain. Um, they don't really explain like how that's possible besides that there was another candle made. I'm going to try not to give away too many spoilers. And they like reappear singing a song, and I don't know. I felt like that just made it really, really cheesy. Now, granted, I know like kid audiences today are very different. So, whereas, their appearance in the first movie, with like, the house going dark and the light bulbs exploding and the candles popping up and, in their place. And, yeah, I felt like that entrance was way more dramatic as opposed to this one. I don't know. I don't know. Like Dixie said, just to call back to this comment, it'll take another 20 years for us to really appreciate the second one. I'm sure that's going to be it. If I have kids, if I have kids, I'll show them both of those movies eventually. Have I seen Disenchanted? I have not. That is on my to watch list. That actually may be my in-flight entertainment on Monday. I mentioned I'm traveling a lot for work these days. Um, I am going to Austin on Monday for work, and I think my flight's about 3 hours. So Disenchanted, I think I was planning on having that be my in-flight entertainment. I'm flying Southwest, so I definitely have to preload all of everything I need on my phone. So um, they used to make stuff creepy. Yeah, that's true. I will say, back in like the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, I feel like entertainment was a little creepier, a little, just a little bit, just a little bit. Hmm. Although funny story, my husband, he's my husband now, yay. My husband and I were watching Mortal Kombat this morning. It was playing on BBC America. So I was watching it while I was eating breakfast before I started my workday. And I was just like, this stuff terrified me, as a kid, and technically it was rated R, but I've never watched the movie in its entirety, and even today I didn't watch it in its entirety because I had to start my workday. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, there's something about the 90s scary movies that, like the others, What Lies Beneath, man, What Lies Beneath scared the bejesus out of me. Now, I think that was the early 2000s. Um, but yeah, I feel like, I don't know, I'm trying to find the right words for this. Oh, yeah, I have thoughts about the new about the last Halloween movie. Um, I don't want to spoil it for anyone though, but I'm just gonna say like how they handled the end of the movie. I've always joked about that. So when I saw it on screen, I was like, it's like, oh, it's like they were listening to me. Yeah, I felt like with the movie, the direction that they took with it, I feel like we were watching. I feel like it felt like they were trying to put in two different movies into one movie. Um, and I felt like, the final battle between Laurie and Michael was way too rushed. Um, yeah, I'm trying not to give it away because I want people to make their own decisions too. But also for me, I will say I've never been like a diehard fan of the Halloween movies. I mean, I do love them and I appreciate them. I appreciate them from what they are. Even like the sequels, H2O and Halloween 2, Halloween 3. Um, I liked them. I liked them as their own individual movies. And then with this latest incarnation of movies where they kind of retconned everything else, I liked the first one that had come out because I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." But then we had Halloween Kills. Halloween Kills was, to me, like, but then Halloween Ends. Yeah. I think that happened because seriously, because in the like Halloween 2, 3, 4, H2O, and all those movies where they made Michael a more supernatural being, I always joked that really the only way you could ever get rid of Michael is to do what they did in Halloween Kills. And I was like, literally, I was like, it's like they heard me. So weird. Yeah, I feel like part of the Halloween Ends was like a fever dream, to be honest. Like the plot of the guy like kind of becoming Michael's protege was, I felt like I felt like they could have made that plot after Halloween Ends. Like if they wanted to start like a new generation, I felt like that should have come after Halloween Ends, where it's kind of like Kylo Ren with the Darth Vader mask. It's that guy with the Michael mask. I don't know. Because I kept thinking about that. I was like, man, it's like Kylo Ren and Darth Vader, but except Darth Vader's not gone yet. So I might have just given away some of the ending. Sorry, friends. You can find it on Wikipedia at this point. um, yeah, so I felt like that plot could have been after Halloween Ends. Like that's my opinion. And I think it would have made for a stronger movie. Because I think it should have been more focused on kind of like how the very first movie was, a good portion of it was Laurie versus Michael, Laurie and Michael. I felt like the Halloween Ends should have been that nod to that. You know, it started with Laurie and Michael, it ends with Laurie and Michael. No need for this weird subplot of Michael's protege happen, you know, coming in and didn't even like, and it didn't even come to fruition. So, thank you, Ash, for the validation. um, those are my thoughts about Halloween, like Halloween Ends. I say I'm not that big of a fan of. I mean, I am a fan of the Halloween movies, but I'm not like one of those people that gets, you know, like Michael Myers tattooed on them. I can't really name any of the actors who have played Michael. Like, I'm not one of those fans. I admire those fans, and those are the fans I go to if I have a question. Um, but yeah, I'm not like super deep like into it. So, um, and I think that kind of helps me stay unbiased too when it comes to like these movies. Because man, um, I had some people who loved the movies or loved Halloween Ends, and so I was optimistic, and I was like, oh hey, okay, okay, and then I saw it, and I'm like, what did we just watch? So yeah. Oh, that's good. I'm glad I'm not the only one who kind of has these feelings. Oh man, gosh, I'm trying to think anything else that I've watched lately. I watched Wednesday on Netflix. That was fantastic. Um, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed Wednesday. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm trying to think of anything else. I'm also working on a book right now, so book writing does take up a significant part of my time right now. But I'm trying to watch things because my brain needs a break. So, uh, yeah, yeah. Um, let's see, what else have we watched? Yeah, so I liked Wednesday. I thought it was a good. What are you doing, baby? Sorry, my cat was like sleeping funny. um, I think Jenna Ortega is perfect in the role. She's great. Um, and then I thought Luis Guzman was fine as Gomez. I know some people were like making comments about his performance, but honestly, like I thought he was fine. Catherine Zeta-Jones, I think she was fine too. I mean, you can't compare them to, like John Astin and Carolyn Jones from the TV series or Angelica Houston and Raul Julia from the movies. You can't compare them. Like, you really can't. They're their own people, they're their own interpretation of the character. Luis Guzman he's portrayed more accurate to the comics. Um, so, although I will say I did not like that wig on him, I think they could have done better with the wig. Uh, but we didn't really get a lot of Pugsley this time around. I thought, crap, what's his name? He played Fester in Wednesday. Oh my gosh, he's in Portlandia. Fred Armisen. Fred Armisen was Fester. He was good. Um, again, his interpretation was very different from, like Christopher Lloyd. I felt like he was more like the Jackie Gleason type of Fester from the TV series, talking like, very, I almost sound like Cousin It there. He was more like in line with Jackie Gleason's Uncle Fester. I will say, so Addams Family, that is one that I am a bit of a nerd about. So I will say that. I do enjoy the Addams Family in multiple incarnations, the TV series, uh, the cartoons, the movies. I mean, I'm a big Addams Family fan. So, my goal in life was to find my Gomez, or Morticia, because I go either way. And having that kind of a dynamic with a partner, I think that's a better example of what true love is versus everything else in the media. Have I seen Enola Holmes? I've seen the first one. I have not seen the second one yet. Henry Cavill, he's nice. um, I did watch the Munsters movie, the new one that's directed by Rob Zombie. I don't understand the hate of it. Like, there's so many people that really did not like the Munsters, like the movie, and I don't know. Like, maybe it's because I just picked up on the callbacks to like the 70s, the 60s and 70s, with the style and everything. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it at all. But I'm also not as deep into like the Munsters fandom, so maybe that's why I enjoyed it. Although Sherry Moon Zombie is everywhere. I don't know if she would have been if she was the best Lily Munster, but I think everyone else was great. But that's just me. Um, Spooky Appalachia. I would love to do a book myself on some of the stories people send me, maybe one day. Oh yeah, do it. As all just get their permission and say, hey, just letting you know, like, do I have your permission to put this in a book? Or when they submit stories, maybe add like a checkbox or a disclaimer saying, hey, just letting you know if you submit this story, it may end up in a book. Are you okay with that? Check yes. That kind of thing. So I'd say do it. Do it. Some compilation books are some of the best out there. I mean, I love it. I love reading about people's stories. I love hearing people's stories, which is why if y'all didn't know, Spooky Appalachia does have their own podcast. So they're very digestible episodes. They're fairly short. I mean, not too short, but they're good. They're really good. I think they're really good. It's a really good podcast, especially if you are looking for something that's short and sweet. Because I know sometimes I struggle, and this is why I love listening to it when I'm working. Because sometimes when I'm at work, I get so deep into what I'm doing is that I lose track of what I'm hearing. And with your podcast, I don't have to. I don't have to like rewind like a 45-minute episode. I can just rewind like 5 minutes and that's like, oh, hey, I'm caught up. So I'm just putting a little note on Twitter. All right. Thank you all for hanging out with me on a Friday night. I appreciate it. All right. Loved both movies. That's awesome. Yeah, Adam's Family Values. Raul Julia was so dreamy. It was so dreamy. Gosh, taken from us way too soon. Um, oh yeah, of course, Spooky Appalachia. I appreciate creators like you. And it's not that I don't enjoy the longer podcasts. It's just sometimes I need something shorter, especially for attention spans. And like I said, I'd rather rewind 5 minutes than rewind 45 minutes to see what I missed. Um, have you ever had any weird experiences surrounding the Ouija boards? Well, I mean, I have one right there. I have some Ouija decorations. I have some necklace. I have Ouija jewelry. I have one, two, three Ouija boards in my closet. One of them is like old vintage Ouija board from like 1910. I've had a couple of weird experiences, but nothing that's like I can say that is paranormal. Yeah, that's a tough one to answer because I also have to be sorry, y'all. I have my monitor on and I'm trying to move a chat window. There we go. Um, mm, yeah, I mean, I had one. So 2019, I used one on Halloween. No, 2020. It was 2020. I used one on a full moon. It was Halloween night. And it seemed like my mom came through. So, um, which was weird. It's weird. But she gave her approval for Chris, which was, it's important. Like, hey, do you like the guy that I'm dating? And now we're married. So, yeah. Oh, thank you, Ninjago. Oh, I appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoy my content. Yeah, I mean, really, what I'm just trying to do with the YouTube channel is just bring something that's more down to earth and not something that's so more performative, if that makes sense. I mean, there's times where I've done like, ooh, spooky, let's talk about this spooky thing. But I also like the angle you've probably seen with the YouTube channel. It's more of like, oh, hey, I learned about this cool spooky thing. Let's talk about it. Because I think, oh, thanks. There we go. I think I don't know. I feel like this to me that'd be more relatable. Like sometimes I'm not really into a lot of the YouTubers that are more performative, and not that they're doing anything wrong. I mean, they're doing fabulous work. It's just not my cup of tea. So I started the YouTube channel so that there was something more like my cup of tea out there. So and I'm really trying to break down the stigma of certain personalities and types. That are involved in the paranormal that people may not take seriously or be suspicious of. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just like talking about spooky stuff and presenting my research and I don't know. I just like talking about spooky things. It's one of my favorites. So um, yeah, I really want to start collecting more vintage boards. The only drawback to it is it's like the rest of the world has caught on that vintage boards are worth something. So they're now getting really expensive. The oldest one I have, I got it by accident. I was at a convention called RavenCon in Richmond, Virginia. Well, Glen Allen, Virginia. And there was an antiques dealer there in the dealer room or in the vendor room. And I look and I saw this board and I'm like, hmm. And the price, I kid you not, the price was $20. And I'm Googling like the board just to see if I can figure out like what date, like what date it's from. And it's like I was like early 1900s and I'm sitting here and they're going for like 300, 400, $500 on eBay. And I'm sitting here like, I'm going to ask how much that board is. And I go up to the guy and I said, excuse me, how much is that Ouija board? And he's like, oh, it's $20. So I don't think I've ever gotten a $20 bill out of my wallet as fast as I did in that moment. Because I was like, there you go, I'll take it. And I didn't want to tell him like, that's it, because I didn't want to like hint at anything that the board may have been worth more, but that guy did not know what he had. He did not know what he had. So I was like, you know what? His ignorance is my win, or he just wanted to get rid of it. That was something that someone brought up to me. It's like, well, maybe he was trying to get rid of it because it's haunted. And if it's haunted, I can't really tell. I mean, I already have enough activity happening around here that I can't really pinpoint where it's coming from. Oh, Sam and Colby. They're fun guys. They're fun guys. Um, I love Selena Spooky Boo. I love her content. I would love to collab with her one day, but she is so famous now that I'm like, have fun up there because he'll never notice me. Or if you ever see Selena on social media, tag me saying, hey, you should work with the spooky stuff. And yeah, $20, $20. $20. And the portals of hell did not open up in my hotel room or in my apartment since then. So I'm leaning on he didn't know what he had as opposed to trying to get rid of a haunted object. Yeah, one of these days I'll react to Sam and Colby. I have to feel out the fan base though, because, I did a reaction to Zach Bagans yesterday, or I posted a reaction to Zach Bagans, and most of the people were pretty receptive to it. I had some issues with how Zach was portraying Satanists, at least like Church of Satan Satanists who don't believe in Satan. They are atheists and they have like bylaws and mission statements and all this stuff. So they are an organized group, but they're not like religious. So I just made a TikTok basically reacting to his demonic dollhouse video that was posted by Travel Channel. And I just basically said like, you got your information wrong. Like that's basically what I said. And man, I had people saying like, I'm reporting this hate. And I did have a few Zach stands, come at me, which they do that. And I'll be honest, it's getting harder to really react or debunk haunted TikTok anymore these days because these people have built up very loyal fan bases. And I just don't know if it's worth putting my accounts at risk because they will mass report. That's something that has really made me pull back on that's what's really made me pull back on doing more debunking videos like the Hamley family. They're faking it. Like they're faking it. Um, I'm pretty sure the husband has some sort of background in special effects. Um, to me, like if the only activity is things being pulled open or being pulled like or just basically moving, it's usually going to be fake because that's kind of how that sort of amateur level special effects works because you're focusing on pulling stuff. And that's Sophie right behind me. That's Sophie. Hi, Sophie. You want to come here? You want to say hi? You want to say hi to everybody? Um, yeah, so a lot of haunted TikTok is fake. Sadly, Kitty K38 is she tries some drama with me, so I try not to speak her name too much because people will come for me. Um, but that's another one with rabid fans who will mass report you. Um, Dude, my house is haunted. That guy too. I I don't know how I feel about Dude, my house is haunted. I feel like all of it's explainable, but either the guy is a really stellar actor or he's not understanding what's happening. Um, I will say there is a trend though with these haunted TikTok creators. A lot of them have talked to me, like because I'm trying to be more neutral now when I talk to these creators, like basically not going in and debunking right away, but more of like advising, like, hey, if you need advice, I'm here, and they will reach out to me. But then once I start asking more questions, basically what I do when I'm working with clients, I will ask questions and pretty much try to find like patterns with the activity or history, that kind of thing, because I usually try to lean in on the idea that they believe what they believe that what they are experiencing is paranormal. 9 times out of 10 that's usually the case, but the one time out of 10 it's usually people who are trying to deceive me, and they're trying to make sure that I don't think that I know that they're being deceitful. And unfortunately that's with a lot of haunted TikTokers, with the haunted house creators and the haunted objects creators. A lot of it is BS. Um, they know how to entertain people. They know how to leverage the algorithm in their favor. It's just frustrating to. It's sometimes it's frustrating for me to watch it. It's got a very strong smell of soap. That was weird. Hmm. It was in my mouth and everything. That's weird. Huh. It was like bar soap. Maybe somebody's coming over. Maybe someone's saying hi. Huh. Anyway, that was weird. Okay. Anyway, so I'm just gonna. I don't know what that was, but it's like when you smell something and you can taste it in your mouth. That's just what happened with like this soap smell. Anyway, like, and I tasted it in my mouth too. That is weird. I'm not having a stroke. I'm not having a seizure. No. Okay. Okay. Both sides smiled. Good. Just making sure. Yeah. So it's frustrating to watch it on TikTok. So, especially when there's so many people falling for it. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about it, especially when I know that they're being deceitful. I mean, fishing line is a thing, fishing line, but also you can break things. It can be automatic and or it's like videos of shadows on walls when someone could easily recreate those shadows right there. So it's just like I don't know. I don't know. Um yeah. Yeah, with Sam and Colby, they seem like nice guys. I've watched a lot of their content, and I will say that I wouldn't investigate the same way that they do. Um, our investigation styles are very different. I don't think they're faking anything intentionally. Maybe they're a little well, they're a lot dramatic, but I don't get anything like intentionally deceitful from them. So I just kind of leave Sam and Colby alone. I do get annoyed though when people tag Sam and Colby in my content. Like I've had videos of haunted places, especially haunted places that I know personally, and I'll get thousands of comments tagging Sam and Colby. And I'll be honest, I switched my privacy settings on TikTok so that I have to approve those type of comments, and I don't approve them. Um, Mostly because I'm trying to protect these locations from them. Because like I said, they investigate in a way that I don't necessarily agree with. They are entertaining. They are very entertaining. Um, but I don't think we would mesh very well on an investigation. But they're entertaining. They're very charismatic, and I've heard that they're very nice guys. So, but yeah, it's just not my thing. Not my thing. Hey George, thank you. Thanks for coming back. Yeah, I may have tried to contact Selena Dixie, but you know, Selena's got like what 8 million followers now, so I would definitely have to leverage my own following to help get her attention. Um, let's see. Yeah, you were right to not watch that video from Travel Channel. All right, Ninjago, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas, Happy New Year, and yep, we'll be back. Spooky stuff. We'll be back next month. Yay, Rachel, I'm glad you made it. Glad you made it. Went to the, yeah, oh man. Oh man, I have thoughts about Zach and the Dybbuk box. So many thoughts. I taste it when I smell strong perfume, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm not usually one who has that. So, a weird spicy food smell earlier, and no one been fixing anything. That's weird. Something's in the air, literally. They're also very good at entertainment. They know what the viewers want. I cannot say I believe they're 100% authentic. Yeah, so that's the thing. Like so Sam and Colby really know how to entertain, and Zach does too. Even though I disagree with Zach Bagans and I react and debunk and comment on him so much, I will give this to him. He is a brilliant businessman. He has managed to be one of the longest running, most successful TV shows. You know, I mean, even more successful than Ghost Hunters, because, you know, Ghost Hunters was canceled and it came back, then it was canceled and it came back. Ghost Adventures has been constant. Plus, he's made multiple streams of income from it. You know, Ghost Adventures have their sub shows, and then they have their documentaries, and then Zach has the museum. He is a brilliant businessman. I will give him that. I will give him the credit for that, because he has managed to make the market very palatable for him and his viewers. So he gets some kudos for that, because yeah, he nailed it. I feel sorry for the ghosts and super advertised haunted places. Like you're just trying to vibe in the afterlife and some assholes yelling at you to perform for them. That's a good point. That's a good point. I want to go back to that sketchy. Let me take a look at some of the other comments. I'm a medium, but first I'm a skeptic. Oh, that's awesome. I try to find the most rational explanation first when I'm investigating something, someone, or on the odd chance of location. TikTok is something else. You're not wrong, Kat. I occasionally post paranormal videos, but I noticed that the community on TikTok is really fake. So I kind of took a step back because that's not the type of content I want to make. Yeah, so I've debated posting clips of my investigations on there. I've debated because one I would love like critical feedback on it, but I don't know if TikTok is going to be the place to do that, or even YouTube. I find myself sharing my data with more of like the parapsychology community, because I can say like, hey, can you take a look at this? You know, what do you think? And then they give me their thoughts. Because I also worry that I could scare people with my content too, like just kind of create unnecessary fear, especially if I end up debunking it later. And I'm like, oh, well, actually the vibration was from a truck driving by. People aren't going to see that. And especially since now TikTok has taken away the ability to pin comments. So I can't even spotlight that type of feedback. Like if I got good feedback on a video, I can't even like put a spotlight on it anymore because TikTok took away that capability. Yes, Sam and Colby are very good entertainers. I loved Zach back in the day when it was just a few college students with some cameras. Once he got big, his content changed and I didn't like him nearly as much. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I will say the very first Ghost Adventures documentary, the original Ghost Adventures documentary, was really good. It was really good. And I'll be honest, I watched Ghost Adventures. I watched the first 3 seasons of it like religiously. If it was on Travel Channel, or they were on Travel Channel. I was watching it and I thought it was really good. And they had a lot more empathy when they investigated, and it was less like, bro, dude, bro. It was less dramatics. And I miss that. I miss that content, especially as Zach and the crew have gotten older. You would think like they would tone it down a little bit, but they haven't. But I think they did what they did because it was a survival mechanism. Like the show was, I bet you anything, what happened was the show was going to get canceled. They probably got a warning saying, like, hey, ratings are down unless you guys can do something, really shocking, or, something that will really scare our viewers. We're going to pull the plug on the show. And then, dude, bro, I think that's where it started to change, because usually these shows don't last longer than 6 seasons, 7 seasons, maybe. Um, usually these types of shows don't have that longevity like Ghost Adventures, and Ghost Adventures literally adapted to the audience. And I think that was very smart of them. Now, unfortunately, now we have a lot of, dude, bro, we have a lot of that now, and people eat it up. But I think that style is eventually going to get old too. And then I'm wondering is, what are they going to do next? Once that method of investigating has essentially gotten old, what are they going to do? Are they going to tone it down? Are they going to, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I think people are starting to get tired of the demon narrative, especially since Ed and Lorraine Warren are being spotlighted as being problematic. That is gaining traction finally. And that's why I think 28 Days Haunted was very bold to use the Warren angle with theory, 28 Days theory, which, by the way, I have never been able to track that theory to them any earlier than 2022. Just a side note. But also at the time, I think they were making 28 Days Haunted, the Warrens weren't being spotlighted as much as being problematic. But I think as Satanic Panic is on the rise, but I think also there's more people pushing back on Satanic Panic than it was back in the 70s. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see how the evolution goes with these shows. Like, what are they going to do next? I did hear Portals to Hell got canceled. But I know Katrina. I think Katrina's doing more indie stuff on YouTube now. I adore Katrina. She's good people. She and Jack actually had something pretty good. TikTok is like the early days of YouTube. Yeah. Oh my gosh. You're missing except it's missing the Evanescence music. God, I feel old. Yeah. Same. Yes, they were genuinely scared, and you could see it. Yep. I found the reactions to be much more authentic. Yep, they have to amp up. I miss the early Ghost Adventures. Amy Adams. Yeah, that would be the Dead Files. YouTube is reaching a saturation point. It is. Dead Files. Yeah, it's Dead Files. So I haven't watched a lot of Dead Files, mostly because I know people who have worked on that show, and I'll just say this. They've insinuated that the show isn't as honest as it claims to be, which bums me out. I've heard really good things for Amy Allen. That's her name, Amy Allen. I've heard good things about Amy Allen. But I know that Dead Files 2 has also fallen into the demon evil spirit trap. Um, so that's something that, we have to keep in mind. I think all these shows are starting to see the success that, Ghost Adventures has, and it's from, who evil. I always think of Mermaid Man from SpongeBob about that. Evil, that kind of thing. I'm still trying to find the source of the soap smell, by the way. That was so weird. Maybe someone was saying hi to me. Maybe. Um, so, yeah. 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 Yeah, I still don't. I'm trying to see if I could taste the soap in my mouth again, but nope. Weird. I said Ghost Adventures earlier. My Hunters. Oh yeah. So Ghost Hunters. I liked the reboot with Grant Wilson. So like, not Shane. Daryl Marston, Brandon Alvis, Rochelle Stratton, Brian Murray. That crew. Um, I did like that one. I did like that iteration of Ghost Hunters. I will say I'm disappointed with the new reboot with Jason Hawes and um oh my lord, why am I forgetting his name? Steve Gonsalves. That I am a bit disappointed with that because I'm gonna get on a soapbox. Getting on a soapbox. We still have such a representation problem, a diversity problem in paranormal TV. And at this point, they're just recycling the same like 15 people for all these different shows. Like we don't really get any new faces anymore. And that's one of the reasons why I really am trying to support 28 Days Haunted, even though again, the Warren theory, um, I'm really trying to support 28 Days Haunted because it's new faces. Um, it could use a hell of a lot more women on that show. I will say that, and some more diversity because POC talk, AAPI. We need some more representation on these shows. But I'm trying to root for these underdog shows like on the streaming networks like Hulu and Netflix because it's new faces. It's brand new faces. And I'm just really tired of seeing the same 15 people on TV these days. I'm tired of it because they're not bringing us anything new. 28 Days Haunted has its issues. I'm not going to say it's a perfect show. It had its issues. A lot of those issues are out of the control of the cast, which is a bummer. I will say I'm friends with a couple of the cast members. Maybe I'm biased, but I know that they didn't have a lot of control over what the final product was. So I'm trying to be mindful of that. But I want to support the shows that are trying to do something a little different, even if that's just using a different set of people, because we need it. We need to change. We need to change. Like you have to contact a priest from a dead religion to exorcise the spirit from your house and throw 50 billion at Hail Marys. Yeah, that's kind of how these hauntings are being treated now. Taps, okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I liked the one with Grant, and that was the one that had the different cast members. I forgot about Mustafa Gattarali. That's his last name. I'm so sorry, Mustafa. I know I mispronounced it. Ghost Brothers is decent. Yeah, I do like Ghost Brothers. I do like that show. I I feel like that is the network's tokenization. It's like, oh, we have Ghost Brothers. There's our diversity. I feel like sometimes that show is being used in that way. Just from my observations and conversations with producers. As much as I bag on paranormal TV, I do talk to a lot of producers because they'll reach out to me for stories or locations, and usually I help. As long as I know that the integrity of the location is going to be upheld and they're not going to be exploited, I'll usually help. But I end up having really interesting conversations with these producers. That may or may not have been how I got on the haunted hospitals. I'm happy to help if their intentions are good. Aw, so glad to find you again. Shall we do another spooky story time with stories we've written? Maybe we could do that. I haven't watched it yet. I need to dive into that. Okay, so I watched 28 Days Haunted. I started on Ghosts of Devil's Perch. I haven't finished it yet. Again, that's another one I'm trying to support because new faces. Holzer Files, because it's pretty much the same cast as Holzer Files, except Shane Pittman is not in Ghost of Devil's Perch. He was working on 28 Days Haunted. So it's Katie Stafford that's in Ghost of Devil's Perch, but it's still Dave Schrader and Cindy Kaza. I don't know enough about Cindy to really make a call about her. She seems nice. If any of you have watched Twitter, you know that Dave and I have some tension. I don't hate Dave. I think Dave is a good guy, and I think he means well. I think there's a lot going on in the community that he's not aware of, and in my future interactions with him, I'm trying to have more grace and tact with that instead of being just this angry pan, you know, not female, non-binary human being of how can you not know how much we struggle in this community? I'm trying to approach him with more grace and tact, and just try to come from an angle of education and insightfulness instead of just me so Dave and I do have some tension. I know he listens. I'm not sure how much he can do in terms of action, but I know he listens. Same with Shane. I know Shane listens. So, um, yeah, Kat. So, yeah, I like to call myself a skeptical believer. Meaning I want to believe in the paranormal. I've had experiences that I can't explain. I don't really know what to label them as, if that makes sense. But yeah, so I'm not like a skeptic, like Kenny Biddle, who is good people. But I am a skeptical believer. And a lot of it's just because, I've seen a lot of BS on TikTok and YouTube, and I really want to push back against that. Yeah. Okay. What do you think of the Estes method they're using more and more? Yeah. Okay. So I have some thoughts on the Estes method. Again, if you were watching Twitter, I got into it with Amy Bruni and Adam Berry about this. Oh, thanks, Terry. Yeah, I do write books in case if anyone's curious and you're looking for gifts for the holidays. This is my latest book. Yay. I had it here because I was taking pictures of it for my Etsy shop. I wasn't just like, oh, I'll just have it here. So there's a certain type of noise canceling headphones you can use that will block out all sound, but also making sure that you're far enough away from people so you don't hear them. God, the noise canceling headphones I have, I can't hear anything. Unless someone is yelling, I can't hear anything. So this is what I got into it with Amy Bruni and Adam Berry about. I think we are missing an opportunity for data analysis if we're not recording the output of the Estes method. And this is where Adam Berry and I had a disagreement. And I want to say Greg Newkirk also jumped into this, but basically saying it's not the Estes method if you record the output. It's called something else. And I forgot what I want to say it was. I forgot what it's called if you record the output. But either way, but it also means that the Estes method wasn't created by the people who created or who say they created the Estes method. They did not create it. They switched it slightly and put a name on it, which not necessarily a bad thing. But I feel like we're missing an opportunity if we don't record the Estes method. Now, Adam Berry told me he believes that the Estes method puts you in a trance-like state so that you're more receptive to hearing messages from spirits. personally, I think that at least when I do the Estes method, I guess I go into like a trance-like state, like I get into a zone, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. I still think I hear things, and it would be nice if we record the output of the Estes method, sync up the timestamps, so that say if I think that I hear a woman saying I'm not a cat at 3 minutes, then we can go back to the 3 minutes of the output of the spirit box and see if a woman did say I'm not a cat. Um, I think we're missing an opportunity here for better data collection. Um, yeah, so I know for me, anytime I've done the Estes method, I can say that I've been genuine with it. Like I can't hear anything, I can't see anything. I also have some really bomb noise canceling headphones though. Like sometimes I wear them to sleep because, I live on the first floor off a busy road. Sometimes I'm just like, hey. But it also depends on the brand. Sometimes when I watch people do the Estes method but are in the same room right in front of each other, yeah, that's where it gets a little sketchy. So if people do come in at so if people are like at a certain distance from each other, yeah, you can definitely hear. And sometimes if the answers are a little too perfect, I'm like, mm, mm. So Estes method, so it's essentially what it is you have the spirit box running. Usually it's a spirit box. Some people use white noise, red noise, pink noise. Um, but they have the headphones on, they have a blindfold on. Now it's usually noise canceling headphones. It's supposed to be noise canceling headphones. Now sometimes I kind of wonder, it's so that you're not seeing anything and you're not hearing anything from the outside, and you just have the spirit box running. And ideally, like people who are not under the Estes method, they are asking questions to the spirits, and then you are repeating what you are hearing or what you feel that the spirit is saying. For me, I repeat what I hear. Again, I've rarely felt like I was in that trance state that other people have described. Um, Maybe once or twice, I kind of got into a zone, but oh, that's cool. Posting techniques on TikTok. Rachel, share your TikTok handle. I'll follow you if I'm not already. I had a hearing test with an audiologist and was put in a soundproof booth, and I could feel. Yeah, so I think you could still. I think with the Estes, I can say I can still faintly hear people, but it's more like a. Like I can't make out words. You know what I mean? I could probably identify who was talking, but I wouldn't be able to tell you what they said, if that makes sense. I think when I listen to spirit boxes with the vague intentions of communicating, I do feel as I go into an alpha brainwave state. I have mediumship abilities, but I don't like to use that word. I don't blame you. I'm the same way. I always use that word lightly, but that's when I have heard the most disembodied voices or had unusual experiences. I don't know if that sound would put everyone else in that state, though. Yeah, it's interesting because the Gonsfeld experiment doesn't have like the sound. Well, no, well, it has the sound, but it's white noise. They have like white noise, and you have the white plane of field where you have either the ping pong balls or goggles painted white with the red light in front of you. That's supposed to put you in that dreamlike state. I will say I've had more productive output and conversations with the Gonsfeld. And with the Gonsfeld, we've always had the other person or the sender or whoever asking questions in another room. And this is why I kind of have an issue with the Estes method, because I feel like it's a little bit of a ripoff of the Gonsfeld experiment, just using a spirit box. But again, I'll get off my soapbox about that. No, maybe I haven't had enough experience with an isolation chamber to really say for sure. Yeah, it happens on TV a lot, and I'm just like, why are you all so like so close together? Now, when I was at the Lizzie Borden house a few weeks ago, the people asking the questions were close to me, but we did kind of just have that whole like, hey, just make sure like you're talking a little lower. You're not whispering, but you're talking a little lower, or at least point your head away from me so that your sound wave is going that way and I'm over here. So you put on the headphones and you do a test. You do a test with your eyes open to see who's talking, what you can hear. Like you have to do that testing round because somebody could have a more boisterous voice that can be picked up through the headphones. And maybe in the case of these TV shows, like maybe their voices don't carry and they're not able to be heard. So yeah, Shane did do the isolation chamber. So on 28 Days Haunted, which was interesting. I don't know if I want to do that. I'm not sure. Yeah. So cool. I'm out of tea. I'm out of tea. That's a problem. Yeah, if you have any more questions, y'all go ahead and put them in the chat. Otherwise, I will start wrapping up. Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. So I mean, with my brand of noise canceling headphones, literally I can't hear anything. Like unless somebody's like maybe this close to me and they're like, hey, hey, unless they do that. Um, but we just test it and make sure like, okay, so if you point your head this way, I can hear you. Or if you stand this close to me, I can hear you. It's just one of those things you just gotta test it out and see what it's like. Favorite kind of tea? Ooh, so I'm basic. I'm a basic. I like English breakfast tea. I also drink Milo's sugar-free sweet tea. Um, oh, thank you, Sketchy. Thank you. Sorry about that. I get sidetracked. Okay, popular haunted locations. I There's so many wonderful locations out there where I'm going to say something maybe that's a little controversial, but I feel like the spirits at these popular haunted locations are more like thought forms and egregores, meaning that they've been created by our collective thoughts from the stories we've seen, what we've watched on TV, and the stories that have been told over and over again. I don't even know if we're actually talking to conscious like spirits who used to be people. And also, I feel like oversaturation of some of these haunted locations, I feel like, I don't know, like, gosh, I really hope that none of the spirits there are actually trapped at these locations. I truly, truly hope that maybe it's, people who are transients coming in, um, egregores or thought forms, or what if it's like corporate America and these spirits are clocking in like, okay, I'm gonna pretend to be the tall shadow person in hallway B this time. um yeah, no, it's good to see you too, Terry. I'm glad that you stopped by. Ida, ooh, cinnamon and ginger oolong. Yeah, that's really good. Bahana Place has a gift shop. Okay, so I did buy some stuff from the Lizzie Borden gift shop. Um, Fun fact about my time at the Lizzie Borden house, by the way, I got the best night's sleep I have ever gotten, like that I can remember. To the point, I emailed the Lizzie Borden house afterwards and I said, hey, what kind of mattresses do you use? And they said, oh, we use Ghost Bed. I bought a Ghost Bed mattress because of my night at the Lizzie Borden house. I cannot tell you all how well I slept there. Given the tragedy that happened at the Lizzie Borden house and the reported activity, I slept amazing. Like if a ghost was trying to bug me, I was knocked out. I was knocked out. There could have been a ghost like dancing or trying to scare me. I was out. I was out. And rarely do I like sleep well at haunted locations, by the way. Usually when I'm at a haunted location sleeping overnight, I'm like, if there was a time to mess with me, it would be now. But this did not happen at the Lizzie Borden house. I slept like a rock. And then I bought the mattress. So, speaking of, feel free to buy my books because now I have to make a monthly payment to pay for my mattress. More women, please. I'm tired of seeing Steve at conventions. Yeah, yeah. Ghost bed. Yep, ghost bed. I'm glad y'all are enjoying the story. Ghost trying to be haunted and spooky, and you're just snoozing. Keep rattling the machines, but you get nothing but snores. Yep, yep. Like I said, I got the best night's sleep in years. Like, as far as I can remember, the best night's sleep I've ever gotten. Like, oh my gosh, I was literally dead to the world at the Lizzie Borden house. The freaking Lizzie Borden house that's supposedly so haunted. I have theories about that. Um, yeah, but anyway, so to go back, sketchy about your comment about popular haunted locations. I'll be honest, I don't even know. I don't even know if that's I just don't even know like if what we're communicating with is actually spirits or ghosts. I think they may be manifestations of what thousands of ghost hunters have created from their visits. But or it could be like I said, corporate America and ghosts are punching in and playing a role. And like, what if all the ghosts in all these haunted locations are just like ghosts of actors? I don't know. Thanks, Ash. Like I said, friends, if you want to help me with my mattress payments, check out my new book. It's on Amazon, and I am selling signed copies on Etsy. If you go to uh, the spooky stuff etsy.com, you can get some spooky stuff like coasters, books, buttons. There you go. Just like that. So, yeah. Anyway, so let me go back to the chat. There we go. Um, seriously, it's like you're playing Miss Lizzie Borden this time. Go. Like I really think this could be a thing. Ida, this is a great point. Women are never represented well. Women could not buy a house on their own until 1976. That is true. Yeah, and like I said, I can't prove any of this. These are just my thoughts. I mean, I'm just thinking for me, like, oh my gosh, if I had to talk to like a ghost hunting group every night, I would be burned out and my anxiety would just be whoop. So I wonder sometimes. I really wonder. Ghosts fighting over roles. You never know. Science has been studying the theory that we coexist with other dimensions simultaneously. We live in a multi-dimensional world. Okay, yeah, actually this reminds me of I mean, I can put a ghost in them. I can try to make it happen. Can't guarantee it though. um Science has been studying the theory that we coexist. So I have some thoughts on this. I don't know how many of y'all watched my YouTube TikTok video. I am going to make a YouTube video out of it actually. So y'all are going to get a sneak peek. So many of you know I grew up in a house. I left that house in 2013, like permanently, because my mom lost it to foreclosure. Um, for some reason, though, in the last like 7 years, every time that house goes up on the market, I get calls like saying, "Oh, hey, we're here. You're selling this house," and I'm like, "I don't own the house. I never owned the house. Um, my mom owned the house. Now, is there a chance my mom did something sketchy and put the house in my name? Maybe, but I didn't hear anything of it, and my credit seems to be okay. So, but yeah, so I always get calls, so I always know when this house goes up on the market. Since I left that house in 2013, the house has been on the market for like 4 or 5 times, which is a lot. It's a lot. The current owner of my childhood home, um, found me via email saying, hey, did you used to live at this address? And I said, yes, I did. And he said, is your house haunted? And I'm like, why do you ask? And, he was telling me like he's been hearing a voice, a woman's voice, a young female's voice in the house, doors opening and closing by themselves. So all this really weird activity. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Now, I did think like maybe it's my mom haunting the house because, my mom lost that house to foreclosure. She didn't want to lose it. And I'm like, well, if my mom was haunting the house, I wouldn't be surprised. Um, and I said, would you mind hopping on a Zoom call so we can talk more about it? And he agreed. And so we hopped on the Zoom call, and I said, as soon as I said hello, he said, holy cow, it's you. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, it's your voice I'm hearing in the house. So I'm like, I'm not dead. I'm not dead. So I said, okay, well, when you hear the voice, what is the house? What is the voice saying? And he's like, well, I hear a lot of mom or what? Okay, which, teenage Alex was a bit sassy, and a brat. So I feel like that could be more residual. But I put this video out on TikTok talking about it, and some people have said, like, well, what if it is you alive, but it's like timelines are crossing, or if time isn't linear, then maybe I'm haunting that house. Like it is me, but it's like hopefully 80-year-old Alex haunting the house. Yeah, so I'm actually going to make a YouTube. I'm going to make a YouTube video about that because it's trippy. It's trippy. It could be, that's the other thing. That's the beauty of this whole world is we don't know. We really don't know. If I die and I was stuck someplace and Dick Watts kept coming in yelling at me to touch flashlights, I just save up my energy until I could slap one of them. That's funny. You should check out the Exorcist handbooks. It talks about thank you for the recommendation. It talks about multiple dimensions and the crossroads where they converge, the various beatings you may encounter. Ooh, okay. I'll check that out. Let me write that down really quick. Thank you for the book recommendation. The Exorcist Handbook. I will look up that book. Cool. Yeah. So the situation with the house, with my childhood home, is pretty fascinating. So you just got a preview of probably what's going to be the first video on my YouTube channel for 2023. I'm hoping to make a visit back to my hometown and go to the house to see like what's going on. There is a theory in shamanism that our soul can be broken up in fragments as well. So maybe it's like pieces of my soul that are left in the house. I will say I was devastated when my mom lost that house to foreclosure. Like I did a whole thing where I said goodbye to it, and like it was a devastating time. Yeah, so maybe it's me needing to call back parts of my soul back to myself. I don't know. There's so many things it could be. Could be residual or some, God, of course, because it's TikTok, some people were like, oh, it's demonic. And I'm like, please don't say that, especially when the owner of the house, the current owner, is like watching the comments and they're like, could it be a demon? And I'm like, no, it's not a demon. Trust me. What you're describing is not demonic activity and is not escalated to demonic activity. Try watching Particle Fever about the God particle and the Hadron Collider. Okay, cool. Yeah, so yeah, and this is a shaman belief. Now there is a woman on social media trying to claim that she came up with the fragmented souls theory. No. It came from a marginalized group. But yeah, it's shamanism. I want to say it's East Asian philosophy. I need to confirm that though. Don't quote me on that. So it could be a lot of different things. I wouldn't be shocked though if it was a part of my soul. This was the same house I was living in after my car accident too, so a lot of trauma happened in that house. Also just trauma of growing up and having volatile parents. A lot of trauma happened there. So same thing, you know, my grandmother lived out the last of her days in that house. So a lot happened in there. A lot happened in there. So yeah. These are really good questions and really good talking points, y'all. This is amazing. Like, I need to do these lives more often rather than just me talking at you all. I love this conversation. It's really good. It's really, really good. Try to make this banner a ticker, and I can't figure out. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, so actually I'm gonna do something for y'all. If y'all haven't bought anything yet in my Etsy shop, hold tight really quick. Hold tight, because I'm gonna do something for you all. If you want to order anything from my Etsy shop tonight, if I can figure it out, why can't I figure it out? Hold please. Let's look at. Yes, you're probably, there's a theory about types of wood and stone record past events. Yes, you're probably thinking of the stone tape theory. Let's see. How to add. Okay. Yeah, stone tape theory. Now, I do know a geologist who has debunked it, but I'm still believing that the environment can store things. So, oh, it's under that. Okay. So if you haven't bought anything yet on my Etsy shop, I'm just going to ask you to hold off just for like 5 minutes, because I'm going to do something for you all. If you're going to, okay. So I'll do it starting tonight until okay. So okay. I just created a coupon code for you all. If you want to go into my Etsy shop and get something, I am going to give you all 15% off of my shop, any item in my shop. You have to use the code SPOOKYYouTube, and it's good up until December 31st. So I'm going to add that. There you go. So you can get 15% off of my off any items in my Etsy shop until December 31st as a thank you for coming to this live stream. All right. There we go. Yep. So yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem. So yeah, it's the spookystuff.etsy.com. Spooky YouTube, one word, for 15% off until New Year's Eve. So the link to my Etsy is at the bottom, the spookystuff.etsy.com. Or just type in the spooky stuff, one word. You should be able to find me. So good question. What about energies from rock like limestone? Yeah, so I'm not a geologist, so I'm really just kind of talking out my butt here. I personally believe that rocks and things of nature can absorb energy. I mean, I have a friend who made a battery or made a crystal powered radio. out of, I think she did use limestone. I think that was one of the crystals or rocks that she used. But like I said, Sharon Hill is a geologist. She's under the handle Spooky Geologist, I think. She has debunked the stone tape theory, or has said something that, believe that she's debunked the stone tape theory. So I think her write-up is a bit interesting. Let me see if I can find it. Sharon Hill stone tape theory. Oh, she did. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to find the link to her write-up. Okay. Well, here's a link that I think takes you all to it. So let me put it in the YouTube chat. It's written by SPR. It's Sharon A. Hill. Sorry, Sharon, if you're watching. Oh, yay. Good. Good, good, good. I'm glad. Yay, sales. Oh, yeah. And it just came through. Sweet. Awesome. Cool deal. Yeah. So look up Sharon Hill. Ooh, why am I don't know why I'm blurry. That's weird. Yeah, Sharon Hill stone tape theory. So she's a geologist. I mean, so she is a scientist, but also, I mean, sometimes science can't necessarily explain spiritual stuff that happens, but sometimes it can. Sometimes it can. So it gets a little tricky there. So I try not to speak for Sharon because I'm not a geologist. I'm not a scientist. Um, I think it's, for me personally, I think it's possible, especially when there's been a lot of trauma that's happened at a location, when we're thinking about significantly historical events that have happened. Yeah, that's a good question. So I have encountered a lot of cases where um, I have encountered locations that have been like on top of or near limestone. And yeah, it's been quite interesting. And they've had more activity versus, locations that are not near limestone, or, more rocks or land that would be considered, charged. So, which, does it mean that there's more happening because of these stones? It's hard to say. Yep. Boom. Like Gettysburg. Yes. I have a couple theories as to why Gettysburg is so active the way that it is. I have a couple theories. A lot of theories. I'll write about them though sometime. Cool. Last call for questions, because I thought I was going to be here an hour and now it's like an hour and a half, which is fine. Oh no, kitty, kitty, I'm sorry. I scared my cat, my poor little Zoe. It's okay, baby. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, little girl. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to spook you. I went to go pet her and she like jumped like 20 feet in the air. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, little baby. Anyway, if you're a regular on my YouTube channel, you know that my cats are my pride and joy. You want to come here? Want to say hi? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She's like, Mommy, I was sleeping and now you've woken me up. Hi. Hi, baby. Hi, your little girl. Anyway, this is Zoe. She's my fat cat. She's my biggest cat. I love you. Want to say hi? You're still sleepy. You're still sleepy, girl. Let's see. Let's take a look at this other one. What about areas closer to running water that seem to have a bit of activity? What are your thoughts? So I think there's something to that. Um, we've always heard about these different things like ghosts can't cross water, or that water can be a conduit for activity, and water is a constant source of energy and it can attract paranormal activity. I think there's something to it. I think it also depends on like the type of water and the in the direction that the water is going in. Like if it's, is it flowing down a river or is it a lake? Um, really, Zoe? Y'all see this? y'all, y'all see this? She does this whenever I'm on camera. And she's like, no. All right, let me put you back. Here, you want to go? There you go. All right. Ignore the litter box behind me. All right. So yes, so I think it does make a difference too, depending on the type of water that the area is near. Like, is it stagnant water? Is it flowing water? That kind of thing. Oh, Ida, love that. Oh, Zoe's gonna walk across my keyboard. Hopefully she doesn't step on the computers. No. Okay, there we go. She's my big baby. She went that way now. She's my big baby. She's like the most like a human baby too. Like she will cry and she will cry and cry and cry until, I lay down with her or I give her a treat. She's very persistent. Cool. Oh, sweet. Then another one just came through. Hey. Cool. Well, I'm excited that, book sales are coming through. That's awesome. That's really cool. Yay. Yeah, if you all haven't been to my like I said, I got to make payments now on a mattress because went to the Lindsay boarding house and fell in love with fell in love with the mattress. Um, oh gosh, I mean, if I could get one of the best night's sleep of my life in one of the most haunted locations in America, um, that's an endorsement right there. Like, let's be honest. God, that mattress was so comfortable. Um, God, I didn't want to leave it. I just laid it and I just went, oh. So my husband's excited too. Anyway, um, yeah, so the water thing that's a good comment. Scared us. She was hitting the door to get in the house like she used to when alive. We were all in the house when it happened twice. Wow. My old kitty Nikki comes in sometimes. There's Sophie. Hi, Sophie. Oh, she's stretching. Okay. All righty. Cool. Yeah, I'll say let's go. I'll go and for 5 more minutes. So if you have any other questions, this is the time to put them in. Um, be sure to and this discount code for my Etsy shop, Spooky YouTube, is good until the end of December. So if you're not able to buy tonight, totally fine, but you still want to take advantage of it. I got buttons, coasters, books. Books are probably the easiest thing to get out. Because I can just sign and go. I can just sign and put them in and go. So anyway, yeah, this was really fun, y'all. I'm really glad that I was able to hop onto YouTube live and chat with you all. I mean, it's been a while. It's been a long time. Hopefully, I won't ever take a long break like that again. So, I totally feel you. I totally feel you. So, yeah, no problem. And all of my items, I think, except for the buttons, ship for free. Unless you buy like a book and buttons, or you buy like coasters and buttons, because then I can just put them all in the same package. So, um, yeah, yeah. I hear you. I know that life. Especially since I have a niece and a nephew who they're little and they're adorable, and Auntie Alex spoils them. So, I just bought like one of them was born in November, like on Thanksgiving. And I'm just like, okay, so we got and I don't want him to be like the kid who gets like the combined birthday and Christmas gifts. I was just out of that range with my birthday, January 13th. So it was like, I just made it out of that, of the dual thing. And I don't want to do that to my nephew. So I always try to make sure I get him a birthday gift at his birthday and a Christmas gift. Although with the wedding thing, I kind of lost track. So I sent him his birthday gifts today, and then he's going to get Christmas gifts. So, you know, uh, yeah, so I totally feel that life, but it also means I'm going to be a little broke by the end of the month. I already warned my husband. I'm like, listen, we might be eating ramen like the last like week of December, but it's okay. It's worth it. Um, yeah, thank you, Ash. Yeah, I mean, it was elective surgery. It was cosmetic. More for more for function. Well, you know, as a lot of you all know, I had weight loss surgery 2 years ago, and I've had a lot of loose skin since then. And my arms was one of them. Like literally, I had skin hanging down to here, and like literally down to here. And it was really hard to find clothes that fit properly. And also, when I worked out or I exercised, like it would hit me, like it was painful. So insurance wouldn't cover it because they don't see that type of surgery as a necessity. So I got cosmetic surgery. I got an arm lift, and it didn't quite work out the way that well, I mean, it worked out. I mean, the surgeon did a beautiful job. Um, the surgeon did a great job. It's just arm lift complications include your incisions splitting open, and that's what happened with me. So it was like it was just weird to live like knowing that there was holes in my armpits, you know, just really weird. So, but plus side was they were able to use that skin also as like a skin graft when I had to get some more skin removed for, you know, potential skin cancer. um, wear your sunscreen. I remember those days of being broke and eating a lot of ramen noodles. Yeah, I haven't had that life in a long time. And between like wedding stuff and then, you know, birthdays and, you know, family members continuing to have kids and little ones, it's like, well, I don't care. Oh well. Alrighty, cool. Well, it looks like we're all winding down a bit, so I'll go ahead and start wrapping this up. Thank you all so much for stopping by. You know, you can follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all at the spooky stuff. That's pretty much my universal handle, except for YouTube. YouTube, I'm Alex Matsuo. Somebody claimed the spooky stuff YouTube handle, and they don't even cover spooky stuff. They're like gamers, and I'm like so annoyed by that. I'm like, can't do anything about it though. That's all right. Yeah. So start expecting content in January. Let me know. Like, so usually I would release my videos on Monday nights, but I'm open to changing that if because you know I do the live premiere and I sit and chat with y'all while the video's going. But I'm open to changing that. Like it could even be a Wednesday evening if that helps, or a Tuesday or a Thursday, even a Friday evening. I'm open to that. Feel free to leave comments and let me know like what evenings would work best for you for like YouTube releases. I can't promise I'll adapt to it, but I definitely would like to look at it and see like, you know, what are people looking at my content? Let me know. I hope you all have a wonderful holidays, whatever you celebrate. I'd say probably expect the first video back around the week of January, New Year's. Well, thank you. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be back. I was kind of worried, like, since I was gone for so long, I was thinking, like, would anybody be left? Like, is anyone still around? You know, is anyone still around? But yeah, I'm happy that people are still around. Um, yeah, I hope you all have wonderful holidays this holiday season. If you're celebrating, happy celebrations. If you're grieving or mourning, you know, my thoughts are with you and, you know, reach out if you need anything. The spooky community is here, you know, I will say this is something I'm very proud of. Like the community here is amazing. Like you all are amazing people, and I really appreciate you. Um, oh, nice. I'm glad. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, Dixie. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Cool. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful night. And this last part, I was wondering about this lady part. I was wondering, but I wasn't going to call it out. That's a good note to leave. Oh, that's a good note to end on. Thank you for that. Oh man. Um, yeah, seriously. So reach out if you need anything. There's a community on YouTube for the oh, thanks, Kat. Welcome to the Spooky Crew. There's a whole community on YouTube. I'm going to try to cultivate that a little more. I do have a Facebook group as well. Um, Send me a message, reach out. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, the spooky stuff. Come find me. I'll direct you wherever you need to go. Um, yeah, have a good night and have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you all next month. Bye.